provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
When your home fills up with family, Alo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Alo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Alo at 866-481-2556 or visit alofiber.com.
Hi, this is Tom Osborne. Join me on September 23rd and dine at your favorite local Renza in support of Teammates Mentoring. 10% of Renza sales on September 23rd will benefit your local Teammates Mentoring chapter. Teammates Mentoring helps students reach their full potential by providing a caring adult mentor to meet with them once a week in school. Thank you for your support of Teammates Mentoring. We will see you at Runza on September 23rd.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog possible this morning, some showers and storms possible late. Otherwise, partly sunny skies with a high near 86. Tonight, showers and storms likely with a low around 64. And tomorrow, a continued chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high around 70. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, first and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Is this bad boy on there, Jake?
It is.
All right. The headphones are acting funny, but I'll be all right. Welcome into the Adam Carriker Show. It is not a Victory Monday, Jake. Was it doom and gloom all weekend in your house? How was it?
It was a great weekend of college football. I don't know. I'm interested to see how people kind of react and did react. I know a lot of people are mad day of. Monday now, are we getting around to, okay, close game to top 25 team, or are we still, hey, there's so many missed opportunities?
So what you're talking about is the Nebraska football fan grief cycle. I actually talked about this in one of my shows over the weekend, and it kind of just came up impromptu because I was like, oh, it's not as bad as it seems. Well, in the moment, I was mad. But you start to look ahead. It's like, hey, we go beat Michigan State. We're 4-1, and then I stopped. I was like, wait, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We have to go through the grieving process. The grieving process, and you know, I'm kind of having fun with this, but there's a lot of truth to it. It's also normal, natural human reaction and emotion about something you're passionate about, like Husker fans are with Nebraska football. It's you're really mad in the moment, should have won the game. This went wrong, that went wrong. Why did we do this? Why did we do that? Why did we not kick the field goal on the first drive? Other folks love that we went for it and showed aggressiveness. And you're really mad. Then about a day later, you're like, oh, that really stunk. But man, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought. Then about 48 hours later, you hear from Rule at his press conference, which we'll react to in hour 2 today. By the way, loaded show, as you might expect. I bombarded you with 4 clips, with about 20 minutes before the show, So we got clips to get to. We've got stats. We got facts. We got analysis. I want to hear from you fine folks at home. I have no idea what happened. I just assumed that I had dominated the picks again this weekend. How did I do? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I wouldn't say dominated.
Yeah. I know I got a couple wrong. Frickin' Clemson. Anyways, and a couple other teams as well. But the grieving process, like, then Tuesday rolls around. Okay, maybe it's not as bad as it seemed. We did this well. We did that well. Then by Wednesday, start to look ahead. By Thursday, Friday, oh, man, we're going to, we still got the chance to win a bunch of games. By Friday, Saturday, we're going to be Big Ten Conference champs and national champs again. Is that not the natural, like, week-long grieving process that Husker fans go through after a loss? Like, you got to go through the grieving process. I don't know if there's 12 steps. I don't know how that equates to this, but does that make sense to you? Is that kind of the process as you've experienced it?
It certainly is. And it's also just interesting. Again, I always go back to what are your preseason expectations?
Yes.
What are you,
Yes.
what is, because that can go a long way into how you're feeling and how upset you are about a 3-point loss to Michigan. And then the other thing is, and it's unfair to Coach Rule, it's unfair to this team, that 28-game losing streak. I mean, I think Husker fans, it's just so much, going through. By the way, Rutgers has lost like 41 of those in a row. So it can be worse. Hopefully it won't get worse.
So they're the reason we have the second longest active streak.
That's
Thank
right,
you.
yeah.
Thank you, Piscataway. Go ahead.
So thanks to Rutgers for that. But it's, and that's what it is. I mean, it just feels like it's not just this game, right? It's all these games coming close. Nebraska's always close and just can't make the plays to win. And again, I always go back to Tim Miles and when he's at Nebraska, and he basically said, don't put all that voodoo on me. Don't put all that because, years and years of history and frustration in Nebraska basketball. I've never won a tournament game. He said, I just got here. And of course it's year 3. So, it is start time to pick it up and start winning those. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what a lot of the frustration still comes from.
Do we have anything off the text line yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, text in. Where are you at in the Nebraska football fandom weekly grieving process after a loss? And there's no right or wrong place to be. I'm just curious where you're at. And are you one of those fans who kind of has that roller coaster ride throughout the week? Of course, now it's going to be 2 weeks. We got a bye week. So this gets to stick with us a little bit longer. I will say this about don't put that voodoo on us. First of all, Matt Rule has been a part of this now. This is year 3, as we've talked about a million times. There are some things that obviously predate him, but when you take over a job, you take on the job what's happened before you as well. I mean, if you just took over a team that won a national championship, that's going to be baked into what you're doing in the future. If you took over a team that's 0-12, nobody expects a national championship. So you get the benefit of that as well. I would argue Matt Rule gets the benefit of, hey, you win 8-9 games. It's a jump for joy. Not jump for joy, but it's a successful, happy season. Tom Osborne literally said the hardest part of his job was convincing Husker fans that 9 to 10 wins wasn't a losing and or bad season. So it goes both ways. You get a little bit of benefit of the doubt both ways. Does that make sense, Jake?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Forgot to do the regular intro. I came in hot today, man. You know that. I came in hot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Adam Carriker Show. Unfortunately, not a Victory Monday edition, but I'm curious, where are you fine folks at after the Michigan loss? Is Michigan better than we thought? Is Michigan and we just got outplayed? Did you feel like this was a game we were right there, had in hand? Had we scored just any points on our first 2 drives into the red zone? Do we win? Is it a game where, in your mind, hey, we got lucky with the Hail Mary and they dropped 2 touchdown passes? It really wasn't even that close. Like, where are you at in this? And then where are you at in, I'm just going to call it the Nebraska football fan weekly grieving cycle after a loss? Where are you at? There is no right or wrong answer to all this. I'm just curious what people think, say, and how they're feeling right now. What's that number there, Jake?
402-464-5685.
All right. Are we getting bombarded? Just say yes. Makes me feel good.
We do have several texts.
All right. Let me read this and we'll get to the text and roll a couple of clips. Hour 1 of the Adam Carriker Show is sponsored by our good friends at Hamilton Telecommunications, bringing you the latest in quality technology and communication services since 1901. Learn more about their residential and business services at hamiltontel.com. That's hamiltontel.com. All right, what do we got off the text line, Jake?
All right, we'll rattle through them because they are flying in now. Unmatched Texter says, now that these guys are getting paid, they need to be held responsible. He points out 57 I'm not going to read it all the way, but he's not happy with the offensive line, specifically Elijah Pritchard.
So, I have always, and I will continue to do so to a degree. I've always talked about collegiate athletes incredibly different than professional athletes. A large part of that was due to the age. They're more mature. This is what you do for a living, and they were getting paid millions of dollars. Collegiate athletes, to be clear, not all of them are getting paid millions of dollars. Let's be very clear about that. But there is NIL. There are some guys getting paid 6-7 figures. And I do think that it is fair to change the standard for collegiate athletes from what they once were. Now, do I treat them the same exact as a pro athlete? No. But do I treat them the same exact as I did before? No. It's somewhere in the middle. There is a higher level of accountability. When you're looking at the offensive line, which it did not go well Saturday. I don't think I am surprising anyone or breaking news with that assessment. And that is putting it kindly, from averaging 1.4 yards per carry to allowing 7 sacks. And I know there are folks who are like, man, Dylan's got to run and Dylan's got to get rid of the ball faster. Sure. Can he do things better? Yes. 11 touchdowns to 1 INT, and he threw for over 300 yards in that game. Are there things he can do different and he can do better? Yes. This is not on him, though. Okay. I've gone back and forth with several people on this. My takeaway after the game, I'm going to start with something positive. That wasn't my intent. I was just going to roll into whatever the comments were and react. After the game, that's the best. Okay. If I get assassinated for this, like online with words, keyboard warriors, that's fine. In a football analytical sense, that's fine. I walked away from that game feeling the best I've ever felt about Dylan Raiola. The first 6 games last year, we hadn't faced the toughest competition in the world. The second 6 games last year did not go great for the team as a whole. Now we beat Wisconsin, won the bowl game, etc. Dylan struggled. I stood by my guns and said what I said all the way from the preseason. He's a true freshman teenage quarterback. You can't speed up the learning process. Through 3 games this year, I still think Cincinnati's better than most people believe, but we don't know how good, and they're probably not a national title contender. Akron and Houston Christian are what they are. So it's like, all right, what have you proven? You look better. You look efficient. You look more in charge. You look more like you're comfortable being a leader. Against Michigan, he had no run game to help him. He had very little pass protection. And even when he wasn't getting hit or sacked, the offensive line was getting knocked into his lap and hands in his face. I felt better after Dylan Raiola on Saturday than I have at any point, and dare I say he earned some respect from me. And I have been very surprised at the reactions I've gotten. If I'm being honest with you, I love fans, and they're probably my favorite part of doing shows. But if you talk to some fans, they agree. If you talk to some fans, they vehemently disagree, which was surprising to me. Now, I've talked to multiple analysts, and even Josh Pate. We're going to play one of his clips. I didn't know what he said. I listened to his show, said, hey, Jake, let's play this. And as I'm listening to it, he's like, I don't know how Dylan threw for 300 with guys in his face and in his lap. I'll be honest with you, interviewed Osborne. He said the same thing. That was my takeaway. Now, are we right? Maybe. Are we wrong? Maybe. I don't know how people put this loss on Dylan. When you look at the run defense, when you look at the rush offense, when you look at the pass protection and the things that we didn't do well, how do some folks arrive at Dylan? I don't get it. Can he get rid of the ball a little quicker at times? Yes. I will point this out. Let me ask you a question first. How often do you think Michigan blitzed on Saturday? Because they were in the backfield a lot. How often do you think they blitzed?
I didn't need to.
Yes,
often.
That is my point.
Yeah.
Did they blitz? Yes. Did they also get sacks with 3 rushers on one play? Yes. 4? Yes. They didn't have to blitz a ton, which means they're dropping 6-7 guys into coverage. So if you want him to get rid of the ball quicker, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I dissected the film from Dylan Raiola's perspective. But my guess is that guys weren't open right away, and his option was to either try to hold it, make a play, or just launch it out of bounds, probably about 5 to 10 more times, which maybe he should have done. I don't know. I did not plan on starting with Dylan right off the show. And I want to get back to that texter. But what is your take on this? Are people texting in on Dylan? And then we'll get back to the original texter, the offensive line, NIL, etc.
Well, it's interesting because he definitely got more. I mean, this was a national game for Dylan Raiola. And so nationally, there's all sorts of opinions being thrown around about Dylan Raiola. And so naturally, I think the local market starts to, wants to get in on those conversations. But as far as what this game kind of broke down to, I agree with you. It was the line play on both sides, angles from the secondary, even missed tackles, stuff like that. But Dylan is far down the list. Now the sacks, that's who he is. He's not going to be the most mobile guy in the world. He worked on that in the offseason. You can only do so much. That he's for the most part a pocket passer. I mean, that's what he's going to be. So if you don't have the protection for him, you're going to get a lot of sacks. For his performance there, we saw some other guys get sacked several times. Luke Altmaier got sacked 7 times. He threw for 146 yards in 1 touchdown.
Did you see that massacre coming? What Indiana did to Illinois? It was 63-10. I quit watching after it was like 56-7. I'm like, what is going on? Did you see that massacre coming? By the way, what idiot predicted Illinois to win that game? Who'd you take?
I didn't take Indiana.
You did?
I did. I would not have said 63-10.
Jeez. Anyways, back on track. I could not believe what I was watching, and I cannot stand Kurt Cignetti all the more now. Just, wow, fantastic. Can you coach some football and can you talk some trash about Nebraska? And I don't like it, but go ahead.
And how about that, too, all offseason? Who's the next Indiana? Who's this year's Indiana?
Yeah, it's Indiana.
It's Indiana.
Yeah, it's freaking Indiana.
Indiana appears to be it. But back to the point, like Oklahoma sacked Jackson Arnold 10 times. He threw for 220 yards and a touchdown. Nobody really threw that many picks out of the 3, which is pretty good for all of them. But just pointing out, Dylan had a heck of a game. I don't know, and I'll say this about that Ja'Cory Barney throw up the seam. I don't know if we've had a quarterback that could have made that throw since maybe Zach Taylor. I mean, so there's a lot of good to come out of it. When you kind of break down the field from Dylan, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, yeah, you're gonna move which way, but to your point, it's not just the sacks; it's the constant pressure. So how much credit does he get for incompletions or completions through fearing for his life? And at some point, that's what the point was too. It's like at some point, we know this when you start to get a quarterback that much, usually rattle him. He didn't seem all that rattled. I mean, he got it's just again, it's just what he is. He's a pocket style quarterback, and they had an absolute advantage on the edge.
So I'm going to be more blunt about Dylan than I think I've ever been. Since the day he walked in, he was pretty much the assumed starter. Not saying he didn't have to earn it, but he was pretty much the assumed starter. Okay, starts all last year. I will still advocate they should have done more with Harburg as a Wildcat quarterback, all right, last year, but that's neither here nor there. You come into this offseason, he's everywhere. He's everywhere to be seen. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. I said all offseason, if that's part of the package that is Dylan Raiola that wins football games, did I not say this like a million times?
Oh, yeah.
Then I'm good with the package. But if you lose, it's going to be viewed way differently, and you're going to be left wide open. Now, let me get to my point. He earned more respect from me on Saturday. He didn't have a ton of help. It's a big-time game. It's a very good opponent on a national stage. And to your point, he never once looked rattled. He handled himself about as well as he could. Could he do things better? Absolutely. He's still a sophomore, man. Now, he was a 5-star with high expectations, and he's been everywhere. He didn't win the game. So, Adam, he didn't win the game. That's the part of the package you said was the most important. This is why he earned my respect, because there wasn't a lot of help. I'm not like Ja'Cory Barney was phenomenal, and there were other guys who did things. Emmett ran hard. Like, I'm not saying nobody else didn't do anything. The offensive line, goodness gracious. He did his part. He did his part. I don't know how else to put it. We did not win the game, but he did his part. He earned more respect from me on Saturday afternoon than he had at any point up until then, because that's the most difficult position he's been in my opinion, including last year, because he's a freshman and I've got built-in grace for him. There's less built-in grace this year because there shouldn't be, just like there should have been last year. And he earned more respect from me on Saturday than he had at any point, because that's the most difficult position he's been in. And could he have done better? Yeah, sure. I don't say yeah, sure, like, yeah, sure, I don't know. Like, yes, sure, he could have. But, man, this ain't on him. And he kept his composure. And as far as we're down 10 points, he leads us right down the field for another touchdown. Play action pass, touchdown flat. a touchdown pass on the flat to Heinrich Harburg. We're down 10-0. We get a field goal. He hits Barney to tie it up. Yeah. Sharon Moore, you cost your team at least 7 points by not being here. Thank you for the Hail Mary opportunity and capitalization that we had. By the way, shout out to Ja'Cory Barney. He caught that at the 1 yard line. Not in the end zone. He had to fight to get in. If he doesn't fight, he's down at the 1. It's 17-10 at the half. So this is not a Dylan Raiola soapbox. I've been surprised at the reaction I've gotten on my take on Dylan Raiola. And people know that I'm honest. People know I don't mind irking people if it's truthful. People know that I don't mind being wrong. If you prove me wrong, I will own it. Have I not done that several times on this show? At least, once, at some point.
Yeah.
Because I'm wrong about once a decade. Ha ha. And people know that I will change my mind. Nobody has presented a case to me yet that has changed my mind. If somebody presents a case to me that is worthy of a mind-changing result, then I will give it to them. Until then, I will stand on this hill with the few people that are with me, and that is my position. Now, is there anything off the text line from that? Because I didn't intend any of I was going to get to that at some point, not right off the top. I figured we'd get to the trenches right out the gate. I'm not surprised by that. We're going to come back to that. But is there anything off the text line? Like, how mad or in agreement are people with me on that Raiola take?
Trey Texan says, I genuinely believe that Dylan is the best quarterback in college football. He'll be in the Heisman conversation by the end of the season if he keeps playing like this and gets us to 9 wins. Is that what you said?
Whoa. Whoa. I said earned respect. Whoa. Not saying he can't, but I'm not sitting here saying that right now. Now, that's what he's saying. That's his opinion. I'm cool with that. All right. And 9 wins is still on the table. I've said 8 is success. 9, I jump for joy. That's still all on the table. Go ahead, Jake.
A couple other thoughts here. Aiden says, because people say he needs to get rid of the ball quicker, but it's hard to do that when the pass rush is in his lap within 2 seconds and he's trying to let routes develop or there was no time. No one was able to get open.
And they're dropping 6-7 guys into coverage because they don't have to blitz to get pressure on you. All right, go ahead.
5769, Raiola's first pick of the year looked predetermined.
Like the throw was predetermined?
Yeah.
Perhaps. And we haven't had the toughest competition up to this point. And let's be real. Cincinnati had a drop pick 6 when we played them at Arrowhead. But still, that's technically his first pick of the game of the year, and it's 4 games in. So a little bit of, I don't know, things happen sometimes right there. But go ahead. What do you have, 4? 3 touchdowns?
Yeah.
And 1 pick on Saturday. Okay,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
9476 says that you're absolutely right, Adam. Nice to hear someone say it. 4661 says Dylan earned respect. His uncle lost respect.
I'm not going to argue with that. That's a conversation we can get into at some point as well. I'm just going to let that comment sit out there because I don't disagree with. Go if there's anything else.
All right. C. Munnan says, and I think this one's interesting, and the big question. I think Dylan played as good as any quarterback with an offensive line like that. Is our O-line that bad, or did they play an off game? If we are actually as bad as Michigan made us look, we're in trouble considering we're in the Big Ten.
I'm not going to buy into the off game. I don't see how 5 guys can collectively have an off game. So either we are just not that good or Michigan is really good. My gut tells me, first of all, we can get better. So this bye week coming up, I'm going to come back to that. And then we're going to come back to the original Elijah Pritchett NIL thing. Not Elijah Pritchett, but the whole, he's part of the offensive line NIL thing after the break. This bye week can be handled a couple of ways. You can give your team a few days off, take a little bit of a break, or, man, you can hammer down and you can scrimmage and you can, I don't know how you would handle it, but I look at it as we basically, with all due respect to Akron and Houston Christian, our starters didn't play the second half of Houston Christian. They didn't play the last quarter and a half versus Akron. That's 3.5 quarters they had off. I felt like we had a bye week coming into Michigan, with all due respect. But when your starters sit out 3.5 quarters out of the last 8 quarters prior to Michigan, that's like a bye week. So as far as I'm concerned, we are healthy, knock on wood, okay? We are fresh, and we need to get better. I am telling you, these would be like fall camp practices for me. You don't have to have a million of them. A typical bye week, you have Monday off, you have Friday off, and the following weekend, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you practice. Typical bye week. Man, those would be like fall camp practices. It is not panic mode. It's not panic mode. It's, guys, we need to get better right now mode. We need to get better now. That was not good enough. We were physically handled physically handled. We are going to get physically better during this bye week. That's how I would look at it. What about you, Jake, before we go to break here?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would like that. I mean, you got the extra time to do it again. It's interesting though, just to kind of see how do you react again, because you want to make it a bigger deal than it is. You lost by 3, or do you look at it as, like you said, you can say we were close and it was close and this and that, but it's line play. It's line play in the Big Ten, and that is for a lot of people. That's why I think there was frustration. It's like, man, they might have some things to make up for it, in different games, but it's going to be a struggle, against the better teams in the trenches.
I wouldn't. My approach to the bye week as a coach, I wouldn't add more practices than I already had planned. They're just going to be fall camp-esque type practices. By God, we might scrimmage a ton. I wouldn't look at it as, oh, we just lost 2 games. No, Michigan, it's worth 1 L in the loss column. Now, it feels like more because not every football game feels the same, because some have, there's more intrinsic value in some football games than others, okay? Like when we come in to talk about Michigan, we know people are going to be much more interested than when we talk about Houston Christian. Okay, fair to say?
Yeah.
So it's still worth 1 L in the loss column, not 2. But I'm looking ahead, and I'm like, other teams are going to watch that film, and they're going to see what Michigan did, and they're going to try to do the same thing. By the way, it's not all that different than what Cincinnati tried to do, and Akron had a certain amount of success as well. They're starting running back average 5 yards per carry, just a reminder, Akron's did. And I'm looking ahead, and I'm saying it ain't panic mode. I'm not making Michigan a bigger deal than it was, but we got to get better. I'm getting better because of the next 8 games in front of us, and we need to get better because of the next 8 games in front of us. That's how I'm looking at it. All right, we will come all the way back to the original text that we got and respond to that after this break.
Nebraska Lottery.
Do you have a new lotto game called Nebraska Pick 4?
Yes, sir. It costs just $1 to play. There's a $6,000 top prize with drawings every day, and you can choose from 6 different bet types.
Kind of like Nebraska Pick 3 with a bigger jackpot and more bet options?
Yes, sir. Any other questions I can answer?
Yeah, I misplaced my phone. Do you know where it is?
You're using it.
Ah, so I am. You lottery people know everything.
Straight bet top prize odds 1 in 10,000.
Sometimes it's hard to know if substance use is becoming a problem, especially when it becomes part of daily life or social routines. Take the free assessment, Is Your Substance Use Harmful, at myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com so you can understand your risk. You can take the assessment anonymously. In just minutes, you'll get practical, non-judgmental guidance and resources to support your health and well-being. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant. Schwizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers. It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking top models from Can-Am, Kawasaki, Honda, Polaris, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Indian Motorcycle, Sea-Doo, and Triton trailers. Score big on our massive selection of Can-Am side-by-sides with rebates up to $3,000 on select in-stock models. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been an trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to chat about. Before we do, as a former Husker and NFL player, I'm kind of a health nut. Hydration and recovery start at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water uses. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. All right, and bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or $9.95 a month. Phenomenal price for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red. All right. So back to the original question about NIL. 57 as the texter phrased it, which is Pritchett. I think the thing that's hard for me, and I don't want to call anybody singularly out. You know, it is a little bit different day and age. Guys are making a lot of money. Sure have to imagine you're going to come to Nebraska from Alabama for something similar along those lines. Man, we could sure use him. Man, we could sure use some help up there. And it's one of those things where if you're going to bring in guys from the portal and spend a lot of money on them, nobody bats 1,000. I say that phrase a lot because nobody does. Nobody bats 1,000. Only one guy's ever batted 400 in the history of Major League Baseball, and that's Ted Williams. One guy, like half a century ago, I think. If it's closer than that, I apologize, Ted. So it's hard to do. But we talked about this in the offseason. There are times when we need a higher batting average on our transfer portal additions. And if you were, Jake's going to remember. For our listeners out there, if you remember, we spent a lot of time in the offseason talking about feel good about the quarterback, feel good about the running back, not sure about the room as a whole. Still don't know about the room as a whole, do we? The running back room.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
Feel good about the wide receivers, even some of the depth, some of the younger guys. And that's with, Janair Bonner going out, who was clearly number 4. Still feel pretty good about the wide receivers as a whole. Man, I wish Hunter, obviously he didn't do it on purpose. I wish he wouldn't have stepped out of bounds before he caught that touchdown. Think about that. But, those are things that happen in a game. Michigan dropped 2 touchdown catches. So it goes both ways. I'm so tired of people saying, oh, Michigan dropped 2 touchdown catches. Yes, well, we scored 0 points on our first 2 possessions and we were in the red zone. And we had a guy step out of bounds. Like, these are the natural course of things that happen throughout a game for both teams. It's not just one-sided. So that kind of annoys me. The tight end room we felt good about. Still feel pretty good about. I was always curious to see what they're going to do with Harburg and Nelson. Still curious to see how that unfolds as a whole. But Lindenmeyer's solid. The question wasn't even the offensive line as a whole. The interior still didn't play great. But we felt decent about the interior guys. It was the tackles. What hurt us on Saturday on offense, Jake?
The tackles.
Defensively, we're like, all right. We should be good in the secondary, but we got to see it just because we struggled so much last year. Well, we're pretty good in the secondary. Again, I don't know if we're going to finish number 1 in the country in pass defense, but I feel like we're well above average in the secondary. The second level of the defense is explosive. I said we're going to give up some big plays. I got to be honest, I more envisioned through the air. We gave up 0 passes of over 16 yards on Saturday, but 3 runs of over 50. That's not funny. But I envision more issues maybe covering the pass just because some of those guys in our second level are very explosive but young. That actually hasn't come to fruition. It's been the big plays on the ground. And we said the question mark was the D-line. I said a million times, it's not that they can't play good. We just haven't seen them do it, so it's a question mark. That's how I phrased it. We lost the battle on the edges on the offensive line. We lost the battle of the trenches when it comes to the defense. Like, basically all the question marks that we talked about throughout the offseason, they reared their rear-end ugly head on Saturday, unfortunately. Do you agree or do you disagree?
No, absolutely. I mean, and that's, that was the whole kind of hesitancy for me to buy into this to be the breakout season. Not that it can't be a step forward, but when your questions going into a season, regardless of what you've done, the portal, we added all these great players on the outside. And again, that's helping. But when your questions going into the season are offensive line and defensive line, like, okay, that's not the best place. We always say, especially in the Big Ten, but in football, your questions are the offensive line, the defensive line, and you don't get the answers that you're hoping, get some surprises. That's going to be tough. And then I go back to this too. I mean, it's part of it's just the NIL in the portal. When the portal was open and Nebraska was swinging out on offensive tackles.
Remember how much we talked about that?
And eventually you get Elijah Pritchett and Rocco Spindler and all. And so they did okay, but they didn't get their top targets there. And so it kind of happened. That's why I didn't have all that much hope that this was going to happen. I mean, I've said it for a long time, and it's not that hard to predict. Nebraska's struggled at offensive tackle maybe since Pelini. I mean, there's been some guys that can come in and step in, but especially in the bigger games, even when you've had some pretty good tackles out there. Remember the bowl game against Tennessee? We had a pretty good tackle out there. Nick Gates has had a great NFL career. He's exposed. And that's what happened again here on Saturday.
We got to get more out of our guys while they're here, because clearly it's in them when you watch some of these guys go to the NFL and have great careers versus even tougher competition. So let's hold ourselves accountable a little bit here. Just a little bit, not too much, okay? We wondered about the kicking situation. Now, Kyle Kunanen obviously missed his first field goal on Saturday. That sucks because our first 2 drives, worst case scenario, we should have walked away with 6 total points if nothing else. Now, we can debate rule going forward or not. In fact, why don't we put that on the docket next? But he's 6 of 7 on the year, which is an 86 kicking percentage, making your field goal percentage. So that's actually pretty good. I wish he'd have missed it, a different game. But thank God he didn't miss versus Cincinnati.
Yeah.
There's that. That 52-yarder was the difference in that game if you just look purely at the score. Also on Saturday. So there's that, because that was a question mark on special teams. I said special teams will be better. I feel good about the punter. I said I didn't know about kicking. Kicking's turned out to be pretty good. This is where we hold ourselves accountable, because the entire offensive line was overwhelmed on Saturday. We said we are solid in the middle all offseason. That's what you said. That's what I said. We were not solid in the middle of the offensive line on Saturday. We specifically had questions about the tackles. So the offensive line as a whole needs to play better. The tackles got exposed, especially in the pass rush. But even the guards and center, man, they were getting knocked back a little bit too. A lot of it too. So to put a button on the whole NIL offensive line 57 thing, to your point, because we talked about this in January, February a ton. They brought in a lot of tackles. And Pritchett came in a little bit later. High ceiling, low floor. He had a false start again on Saturday, didn't he?
Yeah, that was a questionable call too, though. I mean, that was when he was. There's always a questionable call for Nebraska, Michigan. That's when the guy on the opposite end jumped off sides and it made him move, and they say, "Well, that didn't threaten him." What? Since when? What do you mean? That's what moved him.
You see flashes, you're going to move as a football player,
right?
Like you have that long to decide things. So in fairness, maybe that's not his fault. It's still him being called for.
It still goes down on him. Yeah.
You know, like the other 4 guys didn't move. And the tackle, who the guy was right across from, didn't move. I think they brought in Pritchett because they see a lot of potential in him. I think it was kind of a high-risk situation because we hadn't gotten other guys. Again, according to 247 Sports, coming out of high school, the number 1 rated offensive tackle in the entire country. At the end of last spring, he is projected to be a first-round draft pick going into next year's draft. Like, we're looking back to, what was it, April or whatever, right after spring was over. It's there. There's a guy sitting right there who can help you. Can you get him in the flow of things during the bye week? At a position where you need help and a guy, you don't need someone to walk through the door. You need that guy to help you. Can you get it out of him at least starting in the bye week? Any other thoughts on that before we move on?
No, I mean, and again, it's not just circling him. I mean, it's every all the tackles struggled against Michigan. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough, and you're limited in what you can do there. Also, obviously, would have helped to have a stronger running game. So I know you're all looking at pass protection, but running the ball was not pretty either.
So let me be clear. Like, we have to sit on this for 2 weeks, unfortunately. If you're Nebraska's coaching staff, you're like, we got 2 weeks to get better. So that's a good thing. As fans, you got to sit on this for 2 weeks. So it's frustrating for us, probably good for Nebraska's coaches. If we come out in 2 weeks, we should be favored. Michigan State's better. Their quarterback averages 10 carries a game, by the way, and he can run. So Aiden Childs, and you look at Maryland, their true freshman quarterback can run. All of a sudden, the Big Ten has all these frickin' wannabe Michael Vicks out there. My gosh, that's a terrible way of putting that. I'm just frustrated that we have to deal with all of them. But if we should be favored off a bye week at home, you get that win, you're 4-1. And this is where I stopped and said we got to go through the weekly grieving process. I can't do that yet. I'm not allowed to. I got to wait till like Tuesday or Thursday before I can start to be positive. Isn't that how this works? Isn't that in the rule book, the handbook?
I think so, yeah.
I'm just going to throw it out there. You beat Michigan State, you're 4-1. There's a lot of games in October, if not all of them, we'll be favored in. Does that mean we win them all? I don't know. Let's just get crazy. What if we're 7-1 going into December? Little less crazy, because I can hear people throwing empty Kool-Aid glasses at me right now. What if we're just 6-2? We're bowl eligible before November. And to get to that 8-win mark, which has been my mark for success, all you got to do is go 500 in November, which might be pretty good if you look at who we play in November. USC looks pretty good. Penn State looks pretty good. We'll play whatever's left of UCLA, and then it might come down to Iowa. Again.
Always does.
Again.
Always does.
And then maybe the bowl game determines whether we get the 9th win or not. I'm just saying. It's a loss in the loss column that hurts. It hurts more than others. But it is one loss. And I don't want to freak out. Yes, the offensive line needs to get better. They've got a full bye week to get better. Maybe you can get Pritchett to be more consistent. That C word. That's all you need out of him is consistency. there is reason to stay with this team. There's reason to tune out if you really want to. If you're really looking for a reason to, there's reason to tune out. There's a reason to stay with this team. It's a young season, a lot of ball ahead. A lot of games we're going to be favored and a lot of opportunities to win games. So I'm not going off the deep end. Oh my gosh, this position group is this and this position group is that. These position groups need to get better. There's no doubt. It's a young season. Let's go to break and let's start playing the 4,000 clips we have when we come back. How's that sound?
All right.
All right. Thanks, Jake. We'll be right back.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at HamiltonIsBusiness.com.
Hi, this is Tom Osborne. Join me on September 23rd and dine at your favorite local Renza in support of Teammates Mentoring. 10% of Renza sales on September 23rd will benefit your local Teammates Mentoring chapter. Teammates Mentoring helps students reach their full potential by providing a caring adult mentor to meet with them once a week in school. Thank you for your support of Teammates Mentoring. We will see you at Runza on September 23rd.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left at once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers. Are your feet just killing you and you feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown's Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer. Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com.
It's nearly time for Bonsall Pool and Spa's truckload event. From September 23rd through the 27th, stop by Bonsall Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard to see an actual truck full of hot tubs with special prices. You'll save up to $3,000 on all hot tubs and swim spas, as well as $1,500 on all saunas and cold plunges. Use Nebraska football's bye week well by stopping in on September 27th for refreshments and giveaways. That's Bonsall Pool and Spa at 3201 Pioneers Boulevard in Lincoln.
This is your invite to Lincoln's Oktoberfest. On Saturday, September 27th, come to Beer House at 8th and P in the Haymarket from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. for a full day of German fun. Live bands, mouth-watering food, cold brews, and games for every age. Try your hand at Steinholding, Cornhole, or bring friends for Hammerschlagen. Admission is just $9 in advance, and VIP gives you tokens, a Stein, rooftop access, and more. Lincoln's Oktoberfest, where the beer is flowing, the food is sizzling, and the spirit is Bavarian strong. Be there.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. All right, we're going to get to these clips at the top of the hour. I want to pose two questions to you, Jake, and to the listeners at home. And if there's anything else off the text line as they're responding to this, let me know. Number one, should Matt Rule have kicked the field goal on the opening drive versus go for it? I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your thoughts, Jake. Number two, is the special teams unit now our strongest unit on the team? Is that the unit you have the most confidence in? Let me know your thoughts. What's that number, Jake?
402-464-5685.
So here's my answer. While people are texting in, and Jake can give yours, and then we can go through the text, take a break, and get to the clips we got. Personally, I'm about as aggressive a person as you're going to find when it comes to, seriously, I would almost rather lose being aggressive than win being conservative. Like, that's just how I am. In basketball, when I'm coaching, we're going to press. In football, we're going to blitz. On offense, I was the only team in our league that ran a no-huddle offense. We literally had 10 plays, and we ran them over and over and over. We played one team. They were huge. My gosh, they were huge. And they were out of shape. They literally tried to sub all 11 defenders while we're in the middle of no huddle. We ran a play on air. They tried to sub 11 out, 11 in, and we ran the play on air for a touchdown.
Nice.
Like, we're going to attack. That's me. Baseball, softball, we're going to steal. We're going to run. We're going to hit and run. I'm not big on making kids learn. I want them to learn how to hit so we don't bunt a ton until they get older. That being said, I would have kicked the field goal on the first drive because you go right down the field. You put points on the board. You feel good. You got some momentum. Here we go. That being said, everything I just said, and I'm going to get on a coach for being aggressive, even though I wouldn't have made that particular call in that particular moment, I have no problem with Matt Rule being aggressive. If we convert and score a touchdown, he's a genius. Hindsight 2020, it didn't work. Some people just don't like the shovel pass to Lindmeyer as the play call. Okay, all right, we can debate that too. We only got so much time in this show. I'm not going to debate the play call. I'm fine with him going for it. I personally would not have, because I would have been like, man, we got so much, I don't want to say voodoo that we got to overcome, but let's just get some positive juju going right out the gate. That would have been me. As far as is the special teams unit, the unit I have the most confidence in. It's tough because I still wish our return units were giving us more. That's my only hesitation. Like, Kyle Kunanen's clearly a good field goal kicker. We clearly have good coverage units. And Archie's, by the time he's done here, man, he might be one of the few punters that gets drafted in the NFL draft by the time he's done, okay? I don't remember kicking a ball out of bounds on kickoff on Saturday, so that was better. Like, our kicking and coverage units are really good. Our kickoff return units, we had one kick for 23-yard return up until Saturday. We would have had more success fair catching and just taking the ball at the 25, but I like the attitude of let's return the ball. Let's do this. Let's make them tackle us. We had 3 punt returns for 21 yards on Saturday. I love Ja'Cory Barney. He had the 120-yard punt return. He had the other one he unfortunately decided to take, I think, at our 3-yard line. Okay, I love his aggressiveness, though. How do you not love that kid? Just the way he plays. Not even his ability, but how he plays. Not his ability to play, but his ability to play and how he plays. Love that kid. But 3 punt returns for an average of 7 yards. I don't know what our strongest unit is yet. It's either the offense or the special teams. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on those two things, what people say off the text line, and then we'll go to hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show.
Yeah, it's been an interesting, just to watch Matt Rule throughout his time at Nebraska. I think year one, he might have went for it. It kind of, and then you kind of sit back and they maybe lost a few games like that. Kirk Ferentz certainly would have kicked the field goal, right? It's kind of the Big
Yes.
Ten West way. And so I think he kind of learned that through year one and then kind of was going to go with that in year 2. Then Holgerson comes in, and Holgerson's kind of a go for it type of guy.
Yes.
And he's convinced him a little bit more on that. So it's kind of funny just to see the progression, even though Matt Rule's been a coach for a long time, just to kind of see how he's coaching that sort of spot within the Big Ten. I don't really mind going for it, especially the ball's at the 7. You force them out of a long field. They looked excellent on that drive. I mean, that was the best drive perhaps of the game.
Mhm.
Sometimes those scripted plays can be, but with the shovel pass to Lyndon Meyer, a pretty good call. It wouldn't be necessarily what you're expecting. If you're the Michigan defense, they did defend it well. They stopped it. So I don't mind it. I just don't like people going back and say you lost by 3. That's why you lost.
Yeah.
There's so much different things that happen throughout that game. And by the way, the whole philosophy of I'm going to go for it, at the 7-yard line worked. They got the field goal attempt that they needed. It was just playing the field position battle. So
Yep.
I didn't mind that whatsoever. I don't think it's one reason at all why Nebraska lost that game. But the Big Ten West way of doing it would have been kicking that field goal because at that time, you don't know if the game is going to be 43-35 or 13-10, right? So I can understand why people go back to that, but they ultimately won that field position battle by having another opportunity to kick another field goal down the line. As far as special teams, they get less times to make the mistake, right? You don't get as many plays out there. So right now I'd say so, but if they run out there and play like the defense, for instance, there's always going to be plays that you want back, but they had like 6 bad plays, but they played, 50, whatever it is. And the special teams has maybe, 10. So yeah, I'll give the special teams the credit for now, but they have less opportunities to screw it up.
I love several things you said, pointing out the field position battle, pointing out things about special teams. I love that you said the Big Ten West way of doing things. That's like my favorite thing out of all the good things you point out. Anything off the text line before we go to break real quick?
2280 says, not taking 3-point isn't the reason you lost. I'm confused. You lose by scoring less points. So he's maybe would have taken the field goal. Unmasked texter is still mad at number 57. 5299 says, overall, I agree with going for it on 4th down to stay aggressive. Also, you got what you wanted defensively in the fact that they went 3 and out. You had a good field position after the punt. Unfortunately, the second possession, we missed the field goal. That's the 3 points that hurt more than the decision to go for it on the first possession. So kind of going through our thoughts there too. I think that's all the responses we have on that topic for now. Well, there's one. 6913 should have kicked the field goal. We've struggled with a couple yard runs near the goal line all year against lesser opponents than Michigan. Easy to say in hindsight, though.
If Cunanan makes the field goal, because a lot of that was due to the field position that we were given when we didn't make it, and we put them at they actually got the ball at their 5. And we got the ball at their 34. Didn't do much with it, but we were pretty much in field goal range.
Yeah.
If he makes it, maybe we feel differently. Maybe not. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we come back. A lot more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show when we return.
Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer. Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
This is your invite to Lincoln's Oktoberfest. On Saturday, September 27th, come to Beer House at 8th and P in the Haymarket from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. for a full day of German fun. Live bands, mouth-watering food, cold brews, and games for every age. Try your hand at Steinholding, Cornhole, or bring friends for Hammerschlagen. Admission is just $9 in advance, and VIP gives you tokens, a Stein, rooftop access, and more. Lincoln's Oktoberfest, where the beer is flowing, the food is sizzling, and the spirit is Bavarian strong. Be there.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Are your feet just killing you and you feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown's Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
You know, our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. The noon hour of this fine program means it's lunchtime, ladies and gentlemen. The lunch hour of the Adam Carriker Show on The Ticket is sponsored by our friends at Mulberry Barbecue. Now with 2 locations at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, right off Highway 2 by Lowe's. Both locations are open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Try their bird end sandwich, a brisket burrito, barbecue nachos, a full slab of ribs, plus much, much more. An incredible size. Get fueled for lunch today or make dinner plans at Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker and at 61st and Apples Way, just off of Highway 2 by Lowe's. Again, we will be having another on-location show here in the very near future. Keep your eyes peeled for that. All right, we got a whole bunch of clips we're going to roll here throughout this segment. We're trying to get through 4 of them. Go ahead and roll that first one there, Jake.
Michigan beat Nebraska. Allegedly, it was a close game, 30-27. It was not a close game. I give this game 3 Chalai on the 1 to 5 scale. There was a Hail Mary at halftime yesterday. So anytime you get that in a game, happened right in front of us. Anytime we can get that in a game, that's entertaining. It was close. It was a very, very raucous environment there at Memorial Stadium. This is their 28th straight loss versus a ranked team. Just not great.
All right, so that's how good old Josh Page started his Nebraska versus Michigan reaction. Like, that's literally the first, whatever it is, 15 to 20 seconds. Okay. 0 for 28, heard that a million times versus ranked teams. So let's move on past that, because that he is indeed correct. That is just not great. This game was not even close. He pretty much feels like this game wasn't even close, despite what the score said. Agree? Disagree? What are your thoughts here on that, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, and it's a take we've seen from a lot of different people. It's kind of interesting. I know Dave Portnoy called Nebraska high school team, so I mean, there's a lot of different takes out of coming from that. That despite being on Matt Rule's podcast last week, so he'll definitely say what's on his mind.
Can we pause? I'm sorry. Yeah. So, Fox, their pregame show, their answer to Pat McAfee on ESPN is Dave Portnoy. Okay, fine. I actually don't hate him in his lane of Barstool. Okay, he's built a monster. He's the guy that pretty much was the spearhead of building it. I cannot stand him on the Fox pregame show. He is obnoxious. He is trying to be too much one way or the other. There's no objectivity. There's no actual knowledge. There's no actual analysis. There's no breakdown. There's not a lot of, I'm not saying he's not an intelligent guy. He built Barstool, but there's not a lot of intelligence behind what he's saying when it pertains to college football. Like, people know there's a lot of WWE that comes out of me, but it just comes out naturally because I watch WWE. Tony Robbins is phenomenal. I have watched like 10 seconds of Tony Robbins and thousands of hours of Austin and Cena and The Rock cutting a promo. It just comes out in me naturally. I feel like Portnoy is trying to compete directly with McAfee and going way over the top. And I feel like he's just ridiculously obnoxious. And he is single-handedly the reason I will not watch the Fox pregame show. And then he goes on Rules Podcast. This is before any of that on Thursday. Then he goes on Rules Podcast. He's actually like a halfway decent person. And then the real Dave Portnoy emerges in this Instagram reel. We're a high school team. And he said other things. Just there, it wasn't even, I don't always use proper English, but it was just like a little kid learning how to just speak for the first time when he was trying to insult Nebraska type English. Am I the only one that feels this way? And then to go on Rules Podcast and then just completely bury Nebraska. Like, you got to be objective and unbiased. But am I the only one that feels like this dude is not going to be here doing this time next year? And he'll pick it up just fine somewhere else. He's successful. He won't bat an eye. He'll go back to going to pizzerias and giving pizza analysis and, doing whatever he does on Barstool nowadays. But I personally, I never wished anyone to get fired, but I like other people on the Fox pregame show. I will literally turn it off as soon as he's on the screen. And I hope they find someone else in his spot for next year. Is that just me? Like, seriously.
I think the state of Nebraska probably doesn't like him too much, but it's kind of interesting the way he does. I mean, when his debut there, I think he went out to the Ohio State crowd, started talking trash to him. Sometimes I think it can be entertaining. Obviously, Barstool is not really known for breaking down games and statistically and X's and O's and all that. So I think he's always going to be on the entertainment side. And like you said, I think it's kind of the response to College Game Day and Pat McAfee. It just depends on your type. Again, that's not what really gets me going and excited for college football. But again, he's built a brand for it and made it work. So it is what it is. I did find that pretty disrespectful that you go on his podcast and then come out and say that they're a high school team. And again, but I mean, it all kind of wraps into that question of, was this game close? And I think that there were a few plays that could have gone Michigan's way that would have made this game a lot, further away. There are a few plays that could have gone Nebraska's way that could have made this game Nebraska winning by double digits. So I don't really, it was a crazy, wild game, a lot of different things going on. I think a lot of people are going to point to the Hail Mary as part of the reason why it was close. But as you mentioned, Dylan could have 4 touchdown passes if Hunter didn't step out of bounds, which is the next question is the red end zones with the red backdrop of the end zone at any fault there?
Okay, final thoughts on Portnoy, and then we can dive into that. For me, I've seen enough of him to know how he typically is. I don't follow him all the time, but I've seen enough. I feel like he's forcing it, like he's trying to be something even beyond what he normally is. That's why I said things just come out of me naturally. I don't always, like, if you see me at my kids' sporting events, if I'm not coaching, I'm one of the quietest parents there, and I think it astonishes people because that's how I naturally feel. I'm chilling watching my kid. I get to break down Nebraska sports, but I don't have to break anything down. I don't have to coach this particular team like I do other teams that I love doing. I get to just chill and watch my kid because that's naturally how I feel. You put a microphone in front of my face and just everything comes out. It's natural. I feel like he's forcing it. And I think that's what's kind of bugging me a little bit. The red end zone, I don't know, man. You can follow up on that. I like how the red end zones look. It's a red end zone for both teams that play on any given Saturday. If you want to spend more time on that, you can. For me, I'll go back to the Hail Mary. Oh, if it wasn't a Hail Mary, they would have ran us right off the field. They dropped 2 touchdown catches. Okay, we got 0 points, 2 trips into their red zone on our first 2 drives. 4th and 3 at the 7, they stop us 1 yard short. What if we get to the 4? What happens then? What if we make the field goal that Cunanan's going to make 9 times out of 10? What if Hunter doesn't step out of bounds? It goes both ways. Like it goes both ways. It was a field goal game. Sorry, you got any other thoughts? Just the Portnoy thing. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, not a lot of people are fans of Portnoy on the text line, but there is people that are agreeing that it wasn't a close game.
Okay.
Augie says Michigan's coach in the halftime speech didn't think the game was close. 3763 says it was men against boys in the trenches.
Okay.
So there's some different thoughts there, but no, not a whole lot of Portnoy support on the text.
Good grief, man. All right. I don't even know what the next clip is. Go ahead and roll it. Let's start firing these bad boys out. Whatever you got next there, Jake. Whatever's easiest.
All right.
Michigan beat Nebraska. Allegedly, it was a close game, 30-27. It was not a close game. I give this game 3 Chalai on the 1 to 5 scale. There was a Hail Mary at halftime yesterday.
Or is this the one we played? Sorry. There's another one in here.
Because sure enough, this is what good programs do. I didn't say team for a reason. This is a program thing with Michigan. It's a multi-year, it's an identity. It's a program thing. They come out and Nebraska in the second half, 0 rushing yards. Michigan retakes the lead by 10, and they kept home field edge at bay. The stadium didn't really matter a whole lot in the second half. Not that it wasn't loud. It never really reached full throat because they never really had a reason to in the second half. And I don't know that people fully understand what kind of psychological toll that takes on the other side. When you have fought and you've crawled over broken glass to find a way somehow to tie that thing, and immediately it's a 2-possession game again in your home building in the second half. Yeah, it was trying to plug 13 holes with 10 fingers all day for Nebraska. And namely, at offensive tackle, they were powerless. It was just brute force. There's not really a play that you can run. To be honest with you, Dylan Raiola, I don't know where he found 308 passing yards. And that's even accounting for the Hail Mary. I don't remember 308 yards through the air, but he had 308 through the air. 30 of 41, 3 touchdowns and a pick, and they had 1.4 yards per carry. So they were not running the ball. Now that is sack adjusted, but they were not running the ball effectively at all. I mean, Raiola, look, you can pick apart his performance if you want to. I don't know many quarterbacks that thrive in that kind of setting. His offensive tackles were in his lap all day. There were defenders meeting at his position on the field all day. I don't really know many people who are going to thrive in that environment. They're just not ready at the line of scrimmage, which I guess I should have been more aware of about Nebraska, I guess. I hoped, though. I did let a little hope creep in.
So for those who aren't familiar, Pate was one of the, and to be clear, college football playoff is still mathematically on the table. Okay. But before the season, he predicted us to be in the playoff. He was one of the national pundits that did. But if you listen to why, he always referred to the elite wide receivers that we had. Always. They were underrated. They're going to be elite. He never once addressed this in the trenches. Not once. Whether it was good, whether it was bad, his opinion in any way, shape, or form. He's basically saying I should have paid more attention to the trenches at this point. All right. Now, if you look at the second half, because he talked about the second half, here's our drive chart. All right. Let's see here. 10 plays, 70 yards, downs. Oh, hold on. This is the whole game. 10 plays, 70 yards, downs. Missed field goal, drive 2. Then we had interception, punt, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. The second half was punt, field goal, punt, touchdown. So to me, I'm like, man, we actually did a few things in the second half offensively. Then you look at Michigan. The game as a whole, 7 of Michigan's carries. I'm just going to repeat this. 7 of Michigan, for once in my life, I'm going to talk slow. 7 of Michigan's carries on Saturday they didn't have 7 carries, just 7 of them went for 221 yards on those 7 carries. You want to do a yards per carry average on that? No, Jake, don't do it. Don't hurt yourself with that. And 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, their longest pass play went for 16 yards. That yards per carry. What is 221 divided by 7? Like you got a calculator, don't you? I am just curious. I feel like torturing myself for a second.
31.5.
Oh, why did I do that? Okay. You have any thoughts on that clip? Basically, no. He thought the skill positions were really, really good. I could argue they are. I didn't pay enough attention to the trenches, is what he said. Anything, Dad?
Well, it's kind of interesting. We did get a text that I think that is interesting throughout that is that clearly Michigan had the advantage in the trenches, yet they only won by 3. Somebody on the text line said, I actually respect Rule and Holgerson more after that game because as outmatched as they were, they only lost by 3.
Okay. So people have pointed out that we got manhandled at the line of scrimmage. Hopefully we do better in the future. I want to make that clear. We got 2 weeks to get better, at least a little bit better. And people can talk about, really, the game wasn't that close. And we played 2 clips where he said that. Both teams left points on the field. Both teams did good things. Both teams made mistakes. It was a 3-point game. It was still a 3-point game. It shows you how improved our special teams are, because if we have last year's special teams, it might be a 3-possession game. We won the penalty battle and we tied in the turnover battle. You know, we haven't lost the turnover battle in a game yet this year. Not once. Not once. And we've only lost the penalty battle 1 time out of 4 games. Those things are improved. That's why this game is closer. We have improved quarterback and skill position play, offensively and defensively. That's why this game is as close as it was. They're trying to overcome this year's deficiencies, which at this moment in time are up front. Every team has strengths. Every team has things they need to work on. But when it's up front in the Big Ten against Michigan, that's hard. So if people want to act like we got blown out, I'm sorry. The score was what it was. They never, ever led more by 10 at any point in the game. And I said going in, if one team wins this game by 10, that's going to feel like a blowout. So does that just make me right? They were never up by more than 10. Some people think it felt like a blowout, but it was only 3.
I think a lot of it, too, is the frustration. I mean, the one drive Nebraska did get going there was because of a personal foul by Michigan. So, again, you point out, but again, there's so many different plays that were swinging drives and different things there. But one thing I do think is interesting, Rick Neuheisel said in his breakdown of the game was that he thought Holgerson should have kept a lot more tight ends in. That's going to limit what you're going to do as far as downfield passing. But he said, they chipped with the running back once in a while, but it was ineffective.
That's a very good point. Something that occurred to me during the game, and frankly, I have forgotten to point out since the game. Because they talked about chip blocks, which, by the way, as a pass rusher, I hate them. Because you don't know they're coming, and those freaking little running backs are at the perfect height to hit you right in your rib cage, and you don't see it coming. So they suck. But if you're truly getting beat up front, you need to help your O-line. It's a fair point to say that if we were losing the battle up front and we didn't do a lot beyond the occasional chip blocks to try to help them, that is the schematic thing. That is a fair point, and that is something I have not brought up since, so thank you for pointing that out. All right, let's do one more clip. Then we'll finish the clips in the next segment. We got to get to our picks from last week, and maybe we'll get into Rule's press conference, which just wrapped up a little bit ago today. If not, we will dive into it in full tomorrow. What's the next clip? Surprise me.
This was still Pate talking about how close the game was.
Really. Look, all due respect to Nebraska and the immense respect for the program, Matt Rule, the fun we had. We were treated like royalty up there. Oh, I appreciate that until the end of time. But the play on the field yesterday has to stand on its own. And I cannot believe the play on the field dictated a score that was this close. They were trying to execute an onside kick, minute and a half left. And I was sitting there telling anyone who could listen, how are we even in a position with how thoroughly Michigan feels like they...
I picked these clips out. All right. And I'm mad at myself because as I'm listening to them again, did you think it felt like a blowout? Like, he's basically just saying we were lucky to be on the same field with Michigan. Why did I pick these? Like, in my defense, I was doing a bunch of things, and I was listening to this. It was a 10-minute clip from his show. I would listen to like 2 minutes, then I do something for 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, bad excuse. All he's talking about is how the game wasn't close. How in the world were we within an onside kick? Because they made mistakes. We made mistakes. We did things well. They did things well. They won the game because they are the better team, or at least they were on Saturday. Do we have anything else to add to this?
Well, it is like you look at total yards even, which often can be a metric. They only had, 44 more total yards in Nebraska. I get it. I mean, the big plays make you feel in some opportunities. Certainly the Hail Mary, I think it factors into it. Michigan probably does feel like they could have won that by more. And, I mean, again, we can be honest about it, too. Usually play a little bit of a different defense. Would Michigan's standard defense have given up that final touchdown Maybe not. By the way, didn't love Dylan Raiola and Heinrich Harburg celebrating that, knowing they need an onside kick for a chance to win. But that is what it is. But, so I can get it. If I'm Michigan, I probably feel like I probably should have won that game by more. But again, it's not a matter of, again, was Michigan a better football team or better in the trenches? It's what Nebraska was able to do despite that fact to keep it close, I think. So, it just depends on what angle you want to look at it from.
The concern is the issues on Saturday. Are they going to prohibit us from winning as many games in the future as we otherwise could based on how good the rest of our team is? It's not that we got blown out. We didn't get blown out. I said going in, if somebody wins by 10, it's going to feel like a blowout because this is going to be a dog fight and a rock fight. And it was. It was actually way more exciting than I thought it would be, which I was both teams played inspired football. We're going to go through the stats real quick. Time of possession, 33 and change for Nebraska, 25 and change for Michigan. They ran 55 plays. We ran 73. We had, where's first downs? I just looked at it. We had 24. They had 60. Now, let's be fair. Part of this is the explosive plays they had. You don't have to run as many if you're getting big plays. But I think that skews the perception. Explosive plays are more impressive. Let me ask you a question. I've talked about this during the winter when slam dunk competition was going on. If a short guy dunks the ball and a tall guy dunks the ball, did they both dunk the ball?
Yep.
Which one's more visually impressive, though?
That short guy.
But they both dunked the ball. Michigan's the better team right now. We can't argue that. But I think there are some optics that are misleading. All right. We got to get better. Total yards, to your point, 371 good guys, 393 the other guys. We obviously had a huge edge in passing yards. They had a huge edge in rushing yards. Penalties, we won. Turnovers, we were tied. Sacks allowed. Good Lord. Let's not talk about that. It's the visually impressive things where they dominated, but it's not like they dominated the game. We need to get better because the areas that we are not great at right now are I could argue, the key areas if you're going to try to win Big Ten games. And I'm not concerned that we did or didn't get blown out. I'm concerned with how much improvement can we make before we play Michigan State, at Maryland, at Minnesota, etc. Is that fair or not?
No, yeah, I think so.
All right, we got one more clip. I have no recollection of what's in it, so that ought to be fun. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
This is your invite to Lincoln's Oktoberfest. On Saturday, September 27th, come to Beer House at 8th and P in the Haymarket from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. for a full day of German fun. Live bands, mouth-watering food, cold brews, and games for every age. Try your hand at Steinholding, Cornhole, or bring friends for Hammerschlagen. Admission is just $9 in advance, and VIP gives you tokens, a Stein, rooftop access, and more. Lincoln's Oktoberfest, where the beer is flowing, the food is sizzling, and the spirit is Bavarian strong. Be there. Advanced Medical Imaging is hosting their 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk on October 11th at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. Hear inspiring stories from survivors, enjoy local food truck vendors, a live DJ, and other family-friendly activities as we unite to bring awareness about breast cancer. Check-in begins at 8:30 a.m. with the walk starting at 9. Register your team today for Advanced Medical Imaging's 3rd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walk online at amimaging.com. Let's walk for those we've lost, for those still fighting, and for a future without breast cancer.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today: patchy fog possible this morning, some showers and storms possible late. Otherwise, partly sunny skies with a high near 86. Tonight, showers and storms likely below around 64. And tomorrow, a continued chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high around 70. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevenson Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevenson Smith Construction slams expectations.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal, because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
Are your feet just killing you and you feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown's Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show rolls on. This hour is sponsored by our good friends at Suizo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a promise. Suizo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work in a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today at Suizo.com. 40 years strong in business. Suizo Construction. Again, that's SCHWISOW.com. All right, Jake, you got a couple of things for us. What you got, my man?
Yeah, I thought there was a funny comment here we'll get to here in a second. I did want to also say we know now FS1 3 p.m. kickoff for Michigan State for Nebraska's next game. They just announced that TV partner in time. So for Memorial Stadium, obviously, we just keep playing here in Nebraska. A lot of home games to kick off the season. So, of course, you're going to have to wait through the bye week, but now we know the time there. And then I thought Magic had a pretty good reaction to the Josh Pate clips we've been playing. He said, Adam, these are perfect. Gets my mind off being angry at the football team and angry at some idiot who's just going out spouting venom.
We're here all day to give you other people to be angry at. Dave Portnoy, he doesn't have anything to do with the FS1 part, does he?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think he does. Good Lord, I pray he doesn't. All right, ladies, or we could say hi and have a little chit-chat. One or the other. I'm good either way. All right, what's the last clip? And actually, you reminded me what this clip is. It's actually Josh Pate saying a few kind things about Lincoln. Go ahead there, Jake.
About our trip right quick to Lincoln. I've still got a lot of show to get to, so not going to spend a lot of time on this. Oh, we had a good time. Our friends at Fly House came through, as you can clearly see. If you're listening on podcast, just picture a machine bigger than we have any business being on. And our friends at Fly House came through big time for us. Carbs are of no concern on those kind of aircraft. And they got us up there, and we had a great time, and we were treated great. I have never been there before. Everything they said about Lincoln is true. Everything they said about the people was true. Really good access. Just had a great time. Met up with some of our old friends from CBS. Did some pregame work with them. We were everywhere. So I saw a good bit of that place. Think we saw a really, really charged game day environment. Didn't see a win, but beggars can't be choosers there. But the biggest blessing from our friends at Fly House is being back in Nashville by 9:30 that night. And that's without even being in a hurry. So it was an awesome trip. I am very hopeful to get up there again and to be able to see like one of those moments, one of those Berlin Wall type moments. And the only thing I can equate it to is like Tennessee. I was at Tennessee when they finally took down Alabama, and the feeling of euphoria and the feeling of just finally and the pouring out of emotion from an entire fan base. It's amazing. You rarely get to see that. But when you do get to see it, like if I'm ever at Nebraska and they take down Ohio State or they take down Michigan or someone like that, that would be an amazing sight. I can tell it would be.
So now we have to stop being mad at him because he said nice things. Is that did I just ruin the show because now we can't be mad at him and people want to be mad at someone or something not named the football team? Is that what's going on here? So actually, I know why I clipped that. I wanted you to clip that. It's because at the end, I remember when Tennessee beat Alabama. Was that 3-4 years ago for the first time in umpteen years, and they carried the goalpost out of the stadium. I think they threw it in the river or something like that. My son and I was coaching his football team. We hung on as long as we could. Ended up actually being late to the football pre-game warm-up for the team that I coached because I wanted to watch the end of it. So I remember standing there just like, this is awesome. A moment like that happening in Lincoln, because that's what he's talking about. Just imagining that. You know, it could have been Saturday. I don't know. Do we carry the goalposts out? There's not a river nearby, you know, but just getting a big win. Because if you think about not the last time, but 2 times ago, is it 2 times ago when we played Michigan in Memorial Stadium? We had the win. Unfortunately, we had the fumble by the quarterback in the fourth quarter. Yeah. Man, here's what I honestly think. It's going to happen at some point. It's been so long. It just almost seems impossible. It seems insurmountable. It seems like 2 to 3 Everests stacked on top of each other. That's the way it feels. And just like, I know some people almost feel like it's just never going to happen. I truly believe it will happen at some point. Okay. I think I said this a while back. Do you really think that 30 years from now, at some point, Nebraska is not going to have a really, really good football season again? Like they're going to go into 2055, my gosh, 2055, not having won in 9, 10, or 11 games at some point in the season. Like I truly believe it's going to happen at some point, and what that moment's going to be like. It feels surreal, unreal, unrealistic, like it's never going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get that first one, the next one becomes a lot easier and a lot easier. It's that first one that is so freaking hard. We're going to get to the Dylan Raiola quote here. Do you have anything real quick, Jake? Or are you ready to get to the quote?
I just say, as a Nebraska basketball fan, be careful, because we've thought for decades you'd eventually get to a certain level and still have it. Indiana, Iowa State, I don't know if those are good examples or bad examples for Nebraska, where they've, their whole 100-year history never had 10-win seasons, but recently did get there. So it is, it's a different way to look at it. But I agree with you on the whole. I don't think this is going to happen forever. Nebraska's gunning to get back to that point, and it's going to be special when it does happen. continue. It's always just say there's just too many resources, too much interest, too much money that's going to be put into it. That they, to continue to fail like this. And I don't want to just say that too, because I don't think this should be lumped in with all our other failures of the past. I still think this team's heading in the right direction. They could win 9 this year still.
If we win 8 games this year, like, again, it's like what you said. It's like what I've said in the past. What were your preseason expectations? 8 to 9 wins. I've been very consistent with that. People before the season, 9 to 10. Okay. All right, fine. I'm 8 to 9. After the Cincinnati game, oh my God, we're not that good. 6, 7 wins. Nope, 8 to 9. All right. You mollywop the next 2 teams, lose. Nope, 8 to 9. You lose to Michigan. Nope, 8 to. I'm sticking with it. Now, if in 3 weeks from now we're sitting here at 3-3, we're going to reevaluate. Okay. If we're 5-1, I'm probably going to stick with 8 to 9. But those are my preseason expectations. And when that's how if that's the lens you're looking through things, it changes how you react to things. I'm just going to say it, man. I said all offseason, I love Matt Rule, and I think he was trying to speak things into existence. I think he was trying to talk to his players through the media. I'm like, some of the hype that he was putting out there, I was like, man, do you remember me being like, I wish he would quit doing this? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's working against how people are reacting to certain things now?
I don't know. I think they'd be pretty upset with the other. But it is, I mean, again, I hope that as time goes on, again, this is kind of the reaction Monday. We talked about the opening show, the different ways you kind of go through this. It feels like a game Nebraska could have won. And so you put in the lineup of games that Nebraska could have won and didn't quite do it. So again, it's all those losses compiling on each other. And that's where the frustration comes. But I mean, if Nebraska's 5-1, 6-1 at some point, not saying they necessarily will be, but you look on their schedule and they've only got a 3-point loss to a Michigan team that's probably ranked at that time, a national champion a couple of years ago. It's not going to look so bad.
It's a fair point. All right. This isn't the headline of the show, so I feel like we should talk about it at some point. And I quote, a lot of people think this might break us. I'm just telling you right now, we're going to come together and do something scary. End quote, Dylan Raiola after the game on Saturday. Thoughts, reaction, Jake, text line. Feel free to text in. What you got, Jake?
Well, again, I mean, and maybe that's the off-season talk still kind of creeping in here to where the confidence is not going to be put down here. I mean, remember, they've talked about, I mean, Dylan Raiola said they won a national championship this year. So their goals are sky high. Again, didn't quite get it done here, but it lets me know that belief system is still there. And for Dylan to say that after a game where he got shellacked by an offensive line like that, I think speaks volumes, not to just his belief in the team and in the ability to maybe overcome some of their deficits, but just kind of his leadership and trying to bring it forward. I mean, when I hear something like that, automatically think of Tim Tebow after the loss and kind of rallying the troops together. And for that speech is famous because they ended up winning the national championship. If they hadn't, it wouldn't be as famous. So it kind of, I like those words. I don't always put the most stock in them. I always heard from Tommy Armstrong, there'd be games where they're down and you'd hear after the game, Tommy Armstrong was on the sideline telling people to get going. And I don't know why I'm pointing him out in specific, but it was, I remember, a couple instances of it. And it was like, okay, that's awesome. That's a great story. It's great to put in the newspaper afterwards. What about the games where they did get blown out? Was he on the sideline telling them, don't worry, we're going to get better. We're going to get back into this game, and it didn't happen. So a lot of it, just kind of playing the result.
I get you. When I read it, so if you watch Dylan's demeanor during the game, like you said, he never got rattled. He seemed in charge. Because I was curious, this is a big national stage. It's a big-time opponent, especially brand-wise, still a really good team. I mean, they might win 9-10 games this year, This is a team that curb-stomped Alabama in the bowl game, has beaten Ohio State 4 straight years, won a national title 2 years ago. We both agree they're a Tier 1 blue blood per our impromptu 30-minute debate on last Friday's show. And I was curious, how's he going to respond in game? Again, I don't put this loss on Dylan. Could he do things better? Yes, I actually thought he played really well, considering everything he was dealing with. After the game, I thought he was in his press conference. And if you lose a game like that, and you're a true competitor, you're not going to be in the friendliest mood ever. The last thing I wanted was microphones and cameras in front of my face. I can only remember doing a couple of post-game press conferences because I was pretty much just terrified of speaking publicly in general at that point. But he was very much shorter, to the point, a little bit more direct in the post-game press conference, which is fine. But when he said this, I had two responses. Number one, what do you expect him to say? Number two, we'll see if it happens. But if you watch his body language, his demeanor, and his tone, he believes it. It wasn't just lip service. Like, it wasn't Dave Portnoy. That's what annoys me about him. I feel like he's putting on an act right now. I feel like he's amping it up and it's not all real and genuine. I think that's what's bothering me. And he has zero analytical ability. I'll let that go. I apologize. I'm going to come back to it in about 30 seconds. But for now, I'm going to let it go. It feels genuine from Dylan. Now, whether it happens, I don't know. But if he doesn't believe it, there's zero chance it's going to happen. So my reaction was, okay, all right, let's see what happens. They're not pointing fingers at each other. They're unhappy, as they should be, and they clearly are, but they're not pointing fingers at each other. In fact, Dylan said, put it on me. All right, I like that. I don't entirely agree with it, but I like the accountability part of it. That's a leadership quality aspect of it that I like. And there's some belief behind what he said. We'll see what happens. But my reaction is, okay. There have been things said over the past few months that I didn't put a ton of stock in, things that were said publicly. I don't know how much stock I put into it, but I put a lot of stock into the fact that he believes it. And that's why it stuck out to me, and I wanted to talk about it today. Is there anything off the text line about it?
Yeah, there's a few different thoughts. Ben Starkey says maybe take the sugar out of the Kool-Aid. Big Daddy Travis says Nebraska won't do anything if they can't protect Dylan and stop the run. 8374 says scary can be -2. 3591 says doing something scary like actually take off and run the football. Mr. Mike D said, unless Dylan is going to play D and can stop the run, quarterback play wasn't why we lost. And Bo Lever, who's been, of course, that comes from the Bo Pelini days. So Bo Lever, a longtime texter into the show. Appreciate that. Says, seems like we are good. And if our own line gets better, we will be very good.
Those are all fair responses, although I will love all the responses. I'm just going to respond to one, though. Like, let Dylan be who he is. Like, if he's a pocket passer, let him be a pocket passer. Yes, I 100% believe there's some Mahomes-esque stuff to him. I believe some of that is intended. I believe some of it is not. The off-balance throws. In fact, I think it would help him if he set his feet more and used more consistent mechanics. Even the RPO touchdown pass that you've probably seen a million times that put us ahead in Arrowhead at the Cincinnati game. They ran the ball on third down, went for it on fourth, RPO to the left, and he hits the receiver for a touchdown in the end zone. His feet weren't set properly on that. Like, there's little things he could do to get better, especially technique-wise. But he's a pocket quarterback who has more elusiveness than people realize. But he doesn't need to be anything more than that. He just needs other people to do their jobs a little bit better up front. That's my take on that. Jake, what are your thoughts before we go to break?
No, yeah, I mean, I agree. Again, it's a limited amount of what he can do. I think he did work to get a little bit better in the offseason as far as elusiveness. But when it's going to be constant pressure like that all day, sometimes you just have to take the sack. Sometimes that's the right play, which can be crazy. But you kind of think about like Shedeur Sanders or something who scramble backwards and lose 10, 15 yards trying to do something. Like, sometimes that can get you in a little bit more trouble. So I mean, there's again a lot of critiques. That might have been his best game as a Husker. I didn't even think about it until you said it, but I think that might have been his best game.
No, I think it was. I will ask you one question, because there is one thing that sticks out to me that he could have done better. I don't think he's Shedeur. Shedeur would hold the ball for like a full calendar year. Like, my gosh. That's not Dylan. And I still maintain Michigan didn't have to rush many guys, so they were dropping guys into coverage so guys aren't open right away. That being said, knowing Dylan's in a tough spot, not a lot of time, not a run game, guys probably aren't open immediately. Should he have maybe just thrown the ball away a few more times? And maybe there's 4 sacks If he just throws it away 3 of those times, maybe there's 4 sacks instead of 7. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because that's the biggest thing that I look at, and I'm like, maybe he could have done that.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at him. I think there was at least 1 or 2 where it felt like he just kind of protected the ball or kind of, I don't know what you're going to say, gave up some play. But I mean, again, you have to look at each individual one. Is there a dump off route? Is there somewhere to throw it? Is everybody running long developing routes? Because there's nothing to do with it there. So, I'd have to go back and look at all the sacks, but I'm sure there were, I think there were a couple instances where maybe he could have avoided it. But again, he didn't have a perfect game, but he played pretty well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we're going to talk about how much I curb stopped, mollywopped, and absolutely dominated Jake's rear end sideways in the pick'em. Isn't that about how it went?
I'm not so sure.
Yeah, you actually beat me. We'll be right back.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Are your feet just killing you and you feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown's Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q in Lincoln.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Hi, this is Tom Osborne. Join me on September 23rd and dine at your favorite local Renza in support of Teammates Mentoring. 10% of Renza sales on September 23rd will benefit your local Teammates Mentoring chapter. Teammates Mentoring helps students reach their full potential by providing a caring adult mentor to meet with them once a week in school. Thank you for your support of Teammates Mentoring. We will see you at Runza on September 23rd.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
You know, our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. I lost. There's not much time left, so let's go quickly, Jake.
Yeah, we don't spend too much time on it. But this week we did our 10 games, and you went 5-5 this week, so a solid 500 in college football. That gets you to a bowl game, so congratulations. Myself, I went 6-4, so you had a 1-game lead heading into the weekend. I caught up. We are now tied for the year.
So we are both just one game over 500 as a whole on the year, right?
Well, we're 17-15, so 2 games.
Oh, I was going to make a joke about being a 500 hitters and a Hall of Fame baseball player, but we're better than Hall of Fame baseball players if we're hitting 2 over 500. All right. You got any final thoughts for the day, my man? And tomorrow, I got a whole bunch of, we got rules press conference we didn't get to. I told you, I got all these stats and facts that we didn't even get to. I just kind of, as I tend to do, went off on tangents a few times. But you got any final thoughts for today? And again, tomorrow's show is always as loaded, folks.
Well, stay tuned for the Bach of the Black Shirt show. I'll have plenty of thoughts there. So looking forward to that. I just wanted to point out your losses a little bit. While we're out of time.
We're out of time. We're out of time.
Yeah. I just want to know who you're most disappointed with, because you had Nebraska, Utah, South Carolina, Rutgers, and Illinois. I think I know the answer.
Wow. I could see Illinois losing. I didn't see whatever that was. The massacre in Bloomington. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to find a way to pat myself on the back, and I just found it. I told you, even though I predicted Utah to win the game, I told you Texas Tech was really good, and they're going to be in the college football playoff.
That's right, you did.
So I got the pick wrong on Saturday, but man, do they look good. Were you surprised? I mean, it was a convincing win in Salt Lake City. Are you surprised they beat Utah so convincingly in their house?
I am, and I haven't been impressed with Iowa State. We'll see what Iowa State does this year. Every time you mention them, I just bring up Iowa State. But it's looking at the top of the Big 12. I haven't been impressed with Iowa State. They've got a game against Arizona, undefeated Arizona this week. I could see Arizona winning that one. I think Texas. I think you're right on your pick about the Big 12, though. At this point, it looks like Texas Tech got to be the favorite. They're the highest ranked team now.
It would make me happy. The ACC is going to produce a legit college football playoff team as their champion. Whether it's probably not Clemson. You had him go into the Final Four, right? That was Jake that had him in the Final Four.
That was me. That was me.
Oh, God. All my other teams look good, though. I'm right about Texas Tech. Miami or Florida State. By the way, they play in 2 weeks. Dude, that game has not meant this much in 20 years. And then, they've never met the ACC championship game? Never. Dude, how awesome would that rematch be? The ACC is going to have a legit college football playoff team as their champion. I believe the Big 12 will too, hopefully. I'm just hoping for it. But Texas Tech, and then obviously the Big 10 SEC are going to produce a lot of teams. This year's college football playoff could potentially be exponentially better than it was a year ago. Plus, we're doing seeding that makes a little bit more sense. What do you think? You agree?
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, hopefully it's better than the first couple of rounds of last year. But, yeah, the ACC's definitely got some punch to it this year. Still wondering about the Big 12. Yes, they beat Utah. Utah wasn't ranked coming into the year. So I'm not completely convinced on Texas Tech, but off to a good start.
No, Texas Tech's making the national title game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great day and throw the bones.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and